Third Wednesday of the month, so we get to catch up with the United Way. We'll start things out with Cheryl McCulloh. We got a room full of guests here today. And Cheryl, the campaign got started about a month ago. How are things going?
We're going to find out today. We have our first report meeting this afternoon, and all the contributions that have been collected so far will be tabulated, and we'll be able to tell you then.
Okay, so what is your gut reaction? What do you think?
The first report meeting a lot of times is slow. There's an awful lot going on this time of year, and people are trying to juggle work, school, kids, and United Way, and so it's hard to tell, but I'm hoping that it will be fairly decent. A good, 16% of our goal would be a fifth of our campaign, actually an eighth of our campaign, and so that would be a good place to start.
I think our listeners would probably be interested when you folks do get together, what all takes place at these meetings.
We're going to do 4 meetings, and we're going to focus on our impact areas. This afternoon is education, so any program that we fund that has a focus on impact will have a table and a display there. Anyone is welcome to come in, and you can learn a little bit more about what they do. I think the biggest question we get is, what does my contribution do in the community? What person does it help, and how does it help? And this is the way to find that out.
So where do these meetings take place at?
They're at the United Way office, 3:30 to 4:30. About 4 o'clock, we will announce how well we've done in collections to date. And we will also have 1 or 2 clients of a particular agency talk about how it's helped them. So, and that's another good thing for people to hear too.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So the public is invited to attend these meetings?
They are. We'd love to have as many people come as can fit in our room.
Do you get many people who attend these?
We have the agencies, we have our campaign volunteers, we have a few companies come, but other than that, no. We'd really like to get more people at these.
Okay, again, we've got a room full of folks. We're going to find out a little bit about them and their aspects with the United Way, and then we'll wrap things up with Cheryl. Julie Witt, you are the second assistant campaign chair. How did you get involved with the United Way, and what are your responsibilities, Julie?
Well, I got involved through air control. Mary Pat Connell has been an avid United Way volunteer, and she has made it part of our role to make sure that we're contributing back to the community as well. I moved back here from Phoenix in 2017, so right off on day one, I got involved with the United Way. And Cheryl and Rich asked me to do this, so I said, sure, why not?
So you've worked your way up to second assistant, and
yes.
What are your responsibilities?
Mostly what I'm doing is educating. I'm trying to get the word out there, help communicate with the different organizations that are here in town, and explain to them why it's important to give, why it's important to open your wallets and help out. Clinton County alone, well, in the city of Clinton alone, I think it's over 40% of our families fall in the ALICE category, which means they're asset limited, income constrained, and employed. These people have to decide if they're going to pay their power bill or fix their car. These people are just above the poverty level, but cannot make a savings account to save their lives. And so a lot of these organizations that benefit from this campaign help those families in need. And since coming back here, just in my neighborhood alone, I've seen families that need the assistance, and so we need to do what we can to help for those who can't afford to help.
Okay, very well said. Now, again, you pointed out you're with Air Control, one of the great employers here in the community, and what is their participation? I mean, do you go around and say, hey, come on, we got to give a little more?
Well, Air Control's participation, every single one of our employees contributes, and then whatever the employees contribute, Air Control itself matches that contribution. And last year we did over $10,000 through Air Control as a whole between the employees and that. Lyondell, who we've got here with us today, are the huge contributors for United Way. They're the ones that make the biggest dent in the fundraising campaign out of all the organizations, and any small business, big business in the area needs to help as much as they can.
All right, very good. Thank you, Julie. Let's slide the microphone on over to Darlene Lamp. Now, she is with Lyondell, one of their campaign chairs, and Darlene, you were telling me before we went on, your involvement with the United Way has gone back about 18 years now.
Yes, it has. I started working in the area about 25 years ago, and as I was sitting here, I was thinking it's probably closer to 20 years that I've been involved with United Way, because, as Julie mentioned, with her employer, Lyondell has been a big contributor to United Way for the history of the plant in the area. And so as soon as new employees come in, you're given information on the value of United Way within the community, and also encouraged to donate your time. And so, I was involved with United Way working on the Citizens Review Committee. So, in that role, you really get to understand the value the agencies are providing to the community, the needs in the community, and how those two work together so well. And doing things that I as an individual can't do as a business maybe is not our role within the community. But what we can do is provide funds to the United Way and to these agencies that provide that need within the community, or meet that need within the community. And that's what, has opened up my eyes. And the more we're able to share that message to the employees of LyondellBasell, it provides us a way to give back to others. And that's very enjoyable. And being involved with United Way for the last 20 years has been fantastic.
Again, there are so many agencies that the United Way impacts, and you mentioned the Citizens Review. Talk a little bit more about that, because that's a critical part of the campaign.
Absolutely critical. I think that gives a little bit of teeth to what, you're giving to. The Citizen Review Committee is about 18 individuals spread across the community, and they get together and meet and listen to the agencies tell this review committee what they do, how they help people, why they need funding, and the results that they're getting, and the people that they're helping. And that committee then is able to evaluate how the agencies are doing, and then provide the funding needed to meet the needs within the community. And so it evolves over time as the needs change over time, and so that's why it's an annual process. And really, I was talking to a new employee who for the very first time sat in a CRC meeting, and she came back just so incredibly impressed with the questions that were being asked to the agencies, and then what the agencies were able to do within the community. And you could tell just from that knowledge, she's now a very strong advocate and has joined our internal campaign at LyondellBasell.
Very good. And I would think it would be so difficult to be on that committee. You're hearing from all of these agencies, all worthwhile, and you've got to decide how much they get.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard, but that's where understanding, United Way invests in understanding the needs of the community as well. And so, as I mentioned, the needs of the community have changed, and as we have looked at this Alice population within Clinton, you can see where addressing the needs of that population, along with others, but particularly that population, as that's grown, the agencies have adapted. And United Way can adapt with them and fund the programs that really are impactful into the community. And that's really what we're looking at. It really is an individual being able to have an impact in the community greater than themselves.
Done a great job, Darlene. Thank you so much. Let's say we can't let Julia get out of here without having a word or two. Julie Escornia, now you are somewhat new to the United Way, but what drew you to this?
Well, I've been an employee at LyondellBasell for 18 years, and that's when I initially got educated about United Way, is through the annual campaign that we do out there. But 3 years ago, I actually got on the committee, our campaign committee, and so then I've got greatly involved in helping with raise awareness through the plant, getting out the communication, having fun with it. We do a lot of fun activities. We do a chili cook-off, and that's what we're doing today and everything. Everybody brings in pots of chili and soups, and we have a little competition with it. We also, to raise awareness and just remind everybody that the campaign is going and everything, we have 2 flocks of flamingos that you can, for a $20 donation, you can flock a colleague's office, and our flamingos have cute little outfits that can be very annoying, or you may love them. It's one of those love-hate situations. You can be nice to your colleague and flock them with their favorite sports team, or if you know they're a Hawkeye fan, you can flock them with the Cyclones gear and that type of thing. So we have a lot of fun with it. So that is what my role is to raise awareness, have fun with it, and hopefully get everybody to contribute. One thing that just really amazes me is our campaign slogan is the power of many. And you think that maybe $1, $2, $5 a pay period isn't going to do much, but when we all come together and do that, we had amazing results last year, and then hopefully we can do that again this year.
All right, very good. Well said. Cheryl, we'll wrap things up with you. Again, the United Way is such an important part of our community. You're just starting your campaign. If people would like to find out more information or to give, how can they best do that?
They can call us, 563-242-1209. They can talk to their employer. If they're employed, they can go onto our website, clintonunitedway.org/give. Just about any way they want of contacting us will help them figure out what works for them. Through their employer, most employers offer payroll deduction. They can also tell us that they would like to be reminded about what they've given and how they want to pay. So we can send out a monthly or quarterly or even one-time statement saying, could you please pay this? And then online is another good way of going at it.
And approximately how many agencies do you serve?
We serve right around 20.
Okay, very good. Thank you all for coming in today. Really appreciate it.
I'm a sucker for you.
This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Jerry Jones just got around to, he's talking about Jason Garrett, who still feels like a lame duck coach. And here he is on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Jason